Well, hey there everybody, guess what? It's time for episode 9 of Life Downloaded. I am Dan Edge, and as always, I am joined by the superstar. That is the lovely Samantha Rank.
Hello, have you missed us? We are back, fear not.
And so are the builders, so they might be a bit noisy today. They've been drilling, they've been hammering, so if you hear them, you know why. But what do we talk about in episode 9?
We have had quite a feisty podcast, haven't we? We've got everything off our chests. We have been talking about Extinction Rebellion. Grrr.
We've been talking about eugenics.
Yes, we sure have. And we've had a bit of a giggle along the way, as per usual. So join us after this musical interlude.
Do-do-do.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Life Downloaded. Fear not, we haven't gone anywhere. Honest.
No, it's true. We're here.
We are here, promise. So, apologies for our little hiatus, shall we say. But we are back and we are on top form. I am Samantha Reng, and I am with my lovely pod husband.
I am Dan Edge, aka the pod husband.
Pod husband.
Nice to be in your ears once again.
Exactly.
So yeah, we've had a couple of weeks like on missing, I suppose is the best way to describe it. We've been
Yeah.
missing. But we've been missing because we've got super busy. Well, you've got super busy.
We have both been super duper busy, and unfortunately because I've been super busy and probably not taking some me time, I ended up having a stress fracture. Yes, I know. Well, if you listen to our last episode, I was talking about my teeth, and in between that I cracked another tooth, so I think that was just all a little bit too much for my body, and I had a stress fracture. And unfortunately last week, although we were going to record this episode, I had to decline and stay in bed and do some recovery. But I am back on form, Dan.
You are.
You'll be happy to know I'm already supplying you with copious amounts of biscuits.
And Jaffa Cakes.
Yes, so all is good, and I am feeling much better mentally and physically. So hurrah!
Way!
But that doesn't mean that I won't not moan about things.
No, of course not.
There's always things to moan about.
This is what this podcast is all about. No, it's not. But
Is it? Well, a little bit.
we vent a little bit on this
Vent,
podcast.
that's a nice word.
We vent, yep. But yeah, no, you have been crazy busy. We've been crazy busy. Life Downloaded even made it onto national TV.
We did. Life Downloaded team, woo! Yes, so 2 weeks ago it was now. I sometimes do a show called Jeremy Vine on Channel 5, which is a panel show. I don't know how to describe it. It's more of a
Current affairs panel show is probably the...
I know, you're thinking, why on earth do they invite you on there? I think that sometimes myself. But no, so I don't know whether I'd say I'm a regular, but I'm getting there, and they wanted to know about Life Downloaded, which was absolutely amazing. So Dan joined me in the audience. For those of you,
I shaved and everything.
You did shave. You were quite proud of that, weren't you, Dan?
What, that I shaved?
You text me and went, hang on, I just need to go and book in with my what do they call it?
Barber.
That's the one. That's the one. Doing really well, aren't we?
You are, yeah.
Episode 9. Can't even speak at the moment. So that was great. I think it was great to talk about Life Downloaded in general, introduce us as a team, because we do now come as a bit of a package.
We do.
And actually, it was just quite nice for you to see what I do at work. Because obviously, you get to see me on the telly.
Indeed.
But, you don't get to see, what goes on behind.
I don't get to see you at the telly.
At the telly, yeah.
On it, but not at it, and now I've seen you at it. That sounds wrong, doesn't it?
What did you think of the show, Dan?
No, I like it. I kind of want to be on the same side of the desk as you. Like, could you imagine if they took us on as a pair?
I know, right? Both that egos on there, I don't know about that.
Well, I did get spoken to by the lovely Jeremy. He is really nice. Everybody that sort of says, have you met Jeremy Vine? He's really nice. I can honestly say Jeremy Vine is really nice.
Yeah, they're all really great on the show. They're a good team.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
it's nice, kind of, I think that's built my confidence, because the more you do something, the more comfortable and the more relaxed and the more confident you become. And I think, particularly when you have a disability, not only are you thinking about logistics, so, getting on the stage because they've got a little platform, getting on there safely, have they got a ramp, have they got an accessible bathroom? So not only are you juggling that, but you're also very mindful of, opportunities still for people with disabilities within media are quite limited.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly feel like every time I do something, even though my confidence has grown, I genuinely feel like I've got to, like in a job interview, like I've really got to oversell myself and I've got to perform 100%. So there's never that room for me to maybe just sit back and I don't know. I know I do enjoy it. That's wrong to say I don't enjoy it. But you know what I mean? I always kind of feel like I've got to prove something even more than everyone else that I'm sat on the panel with.
Yeah, you're wary that because you're one of the few disabled panellists that they have, that you represent 20% of the UK population.
Yeah, which,
And you feel...
Thanks for putting it like that. That's just put the fear of God into me. Didn't really think of it like that, but thanks, Dan. Thanks for drawing that attention to me.
That was not my goal. But, because, like you say, that having deaf and disabled people on panel shows and just TV in general, we're limited numbers. It's like me, when I've done TV commercials and other stuff on TV, you're well aware that you're one of, I don't want to say the lucky few because you earn the spot, but you're one of the few people that represents a really underrepresented group of people.
Oh, totally.
And
just for your own personal development, like, when I'm sure you're the same, when I did my Maltesers advert and you did your Paddy Power advert, the response from that was really great, and there were great accomplishments, but there was someone inside of me, and also all the random strangers would say that they thought that would really go on to other things. Not saying that I've been doing nothing since then. However, as actors or as in the creative industry, as someone with a disability, it's even doesn't just because you've succeeded doesn't mean that will roll on to something else. I think success is infinite. Isn't infinite. Like it's potluck.
Exactly. Everybody kind of goes, "Oh, you've done that ad, so like your career."
What are you doing now? Where's your Oscar?
Exactly. Your career must be skyrocketing, and it's like, no,
it doesn't work like that.
No,
but it doesn't work like that for other actors as well. So
no, exactly.
It's not just isolated because we are disabled. But I would say having a disability, limits us again.
Exactly.
So why have we chosen this profession? Honestly,
because I really can't do anything else.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Well, I've got the skills to, but from like a mental health and like self-worth perspective, I can't do anything else.
Of course, I completely get that.
So yeah, I could do other work quite possibly, but I couldn't do other work for my own sanity.
So that was really great. I really enjoyed sharing that experience with you, and thank you to Jeremy Vine on Fiverr.
Thank you to all the crew that made me feel welcome.
Exactly.
And I did challenge Jeremy to come and train to be a wrestler.
I know, and if you're listening, because he did listen.
He did.
To the podcast. God bless him. That kind of scared me then, because in my head I was thinking, oh my God, what have I said about Jeremy Vine on the podcast?
No.
He listened. Quite nice.
He listened to part of episode 8 because he came into me in the green room and said, "I'd love to listen to it. Can I listen to some of it while I'm in makeup?"
Amazing.
So genuinely, he took my phone, handed it back to me at the start of the show, and had listened to a bit of episode 8.
While he was eating my cupcake, I made cupcakes and brought them in to everyone.
Yeah, see? It's not just me that she feeds.
Oh my goodness, so yeah, I really am a feeder. But you know what? It was hilarious. So I made these little chocolate cupcakes, and then I put them in really nice cupcake boxes. And then I had this realisation of, okay, how am I going to transport them? Because obviously I can't put them on the side because they'll get smushed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I'm wheeling my wheelchair. I can't really balance them
On your lap, because
I
that's
had
a nightmare
so I
waiting
had
to happen.
sadly put them in a bag and put them on the back of my chair.
No.
So by the time they got there, they were just like, and I decorated them lovely.
Oh,
They
bet
were just
you
like a big
did.
mush. But then, do you know what? I had this like really like panicked feeling. I don't know anyone else out there who is maybe a little bit neurotic like me at times. But I just thought, oh my goodness, like what if one of my hairs got in there, and I've just given them to like Jeremy and the whole crew, like Storm and everyone, you know. And I just kept thinking, oh my goodness, what if? Because you know, I'm doing it in my own kitchen. Thankfully, my cat doesn't have hair, so I didn't have to worry about that.
No.
But yeah, I was going, oh my goodness, can you imagine how embarrassing would that be?
It would, but from the feedback that I got while I was sort of rolling around the studios, everybody was like, cake, yes!
Cake!
Everybody was just excited they were cake. But if us being on Jeremy Vine wasn't enough, Miss Samantha Rank,
Oh, what else have I done?
you have just been voted into this year's Power 100
Yeah, Power 100.
of
Whoop, whoop.
influential disabled people.
Yes.
So check
me.
you out.
Yeah, so this is for the Shaw Trust, which is a charity, and they have every year the top 100 power list, and this is my second year in a row for being in the top 100, which is a great achievement. I mean, if nothing else, they kind of have a swanky little do, and I just like catching up with a lot of my friends, because a lot of my friends are on the power list. So apart from, you know, having that recognition, it's great to be recognised for the work, you know, and kind of being, I suppose, a bit of a role model. But it's just nice kind of celebrating other people within the community. I know that sometimes people, well, there's been some backlash on the top 100 from some people saying that, oh, you know, you shouldn't kind of, you know, everybody, I don't know, because everybody has different ways of being a disability advocate, or, you know, so why should we single out 100 people? And I'm a bit, because not everyone's in the position for, like you or I are maybe,
No.
to get out there and do that. But then equally, I don't think just because you're not in that position doesn't mean that you shouldn't celebrate people that clearly do a lot for others.
Exactly.
You know, I mean,
It's-
not every disabled person is a disability campaigner.
No.
And I think that's what a lot of people think. Like,
Yeah.
just because you're disabled, you need to be flying the flag.
You need to be a
But just-
Paralympian,
yeah,
you need to be flying the flag,
Paralympian,
you need to...
You need to be, you know, collecting money outside of Sainsbury's, you know, for a good cause. That's just not the case. So ultimately, great. You know, I feel very blessed and very honoured to be on the list. And congratulations to all my fellow activist campaigners who were on there with me.
Indeed, and what I like about the Power 100, it's because you know what it's like working in our industry, in the arts and in the media. You're in a bit of a bubble. Not like the Westminster bubble. We do understand what's going
Yes.
on in the outside world. But you are in a bit of a bubble in the fact that you see a lot of people regularly that, you know, we see guys that are in the industry all the time. We cross paths because we go to events, like anybody that works in an
it's
industry.
quite an ancestral little group of people.
And I think every industry is. But what I
Yeah.
like about the Power 100 is not only does it focus on people like yourself and myself that are in the media, it focuses on people that are in the charity sector.
Oh, completely.
It focuses on people that are in the
Education.
education sector, in the business sector, and these are people that I wouldn't cross paths with.
No.
And in lots of ways, I might argue they deserve to be there more than I would if I ever made Power 100.
Yeah.
Not that I'm...
No. But yeah, you're completely right. And flicking through the power list, which is really great, they always have everyone's contact details on there, so you can kind of network.
Brilliant.
And there's a guy, I'm really bad with names and I don't have it in front of me. There's a guy who's also got OI, brittle bones like me, and he is like a psychiatrist.
Amazing.
And I was like, can you please, I need someone, please, can you? And I just found that, because that's a job that I kind of dipped into, I studied sociology, and there was something that I really toyed with. I did a counselling course, etc. So it was absolutely great because the OI community, so osteogenesis imperfecta, we're quite a close-knit community, and we are very supportive of one another. We hate each other at times. We're like a dysfunctional family, like honestly, but we equally kind of love each other as well.
Yeah.
So it was great to see someone with OI, doing an amazing job. But equally, isn't that funny that I kind of went, oh my goodness, really? And isn't that, going back to like this internalized ableism that I kind of have, that I was shocked that someone with OI was a shrink.
Well, this is it.
Do you know what I mean? So even I shocked myself.
And why not? But I will have to say this, thanks to you, Miss Rank.
Me?
Yes. I have indirectly been mentioned on the Power 100 for the first time.
Okay.
Because when you read your lovely bit of blurb that says how amazing you are, you do a really good job at mentioning me and Life Downloaded. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. We are a team.
Yeah, we are indeed. So it is the first time that I have been mentioned on the Power 100 list.
Well, we need to get you on there officially, don't we, Dan?
Well, maybe I don't deserve to be on it. Who knows?
No, don't say that. Don't feel sorry for him, guys and girls.
No, but there's some awesome people on the Power 100, and
I think you can look at it online, can't you?
you can.
Yeah, you can.
You can look at.
I will, by the end of the podcast, I will bring it up and I'll give you the link, actually. But anyway, do you know what? Talking of things that aren't being so pleasant at the moment.
We've talked about all the nice stuff.
Yeah, we talked about nice stuff. We've got a few interesting subjects that we've been looking at during the week that we wanted to draw attention to because it's really got our back up. So the first thing for me is the lovely Extinction Rebellion group. So I live in London, so for anyone who doesn't know who they are a
global.
How would you describe them?
They're a global climate activist movement that feel governments and so on and so forth aren't doing enough to stop and withhold climate change.
Yeah. So, which is great. I think we're all in we all agree that climate change is a serious matter, and we need to stop thinking about how we can slow down the effects that mankind have basically trashed the earth. We've been very disrespectful. We've trashed the earth. However, London has been for the past 2 weeks at a little bit of a standstill, particularly central London. Because of these climate protesters, and how it's affected me personally is obviously I rely on getting around either public transport or black cabs who are accessible, and I've had to I've been stopped from going out and about for the past 2 weeks. Even the power list, which we just were talking about, that engagement was actually at the Houses of Parliament. And a lot of the people couldn't get there because of the protesters. And I've also been on that day I was talking to a number of police officers, and I've been talking to a number of cab drivers, and they were saying that they've actually stopped ambulances getting to there's a St Thomas's down the road from Parliament, stopped ambulances getting to and from hospital, which I just find I find it very disrespectful. Yes, we have got an issue with climate change, but actually stopping services like ambulances getting to hospital, speaking as someone that uses an ambulance a lot, and also someone who lost a parent, and ambulances work vital in all them situations, that makes my blood boil. And I just think, yes, they've got a lot of media attention, and yes, we're talking about it, but actually I've now lost respect for them. And because I've had a bit of abuse online, because I've written about this from a few of the I call them eco warriors, I suppose. It's had the adverse effect on me. I kind of wanted to be an ally, but actually now, because of their attitude, I'm being a little bit like, well, screw you.
Yeah, it's a challenge, because I think the majority of the people involved in Extinction Rebellion, probably if they heard that ambulances had been stopped, would be like, that's not what we're trying to achieve.
Do you think?
I
don't know.
Because
I don't think so.
I've seen other examples where they've openly said, look, if you're an ambulance, if you're police, come through. But it's like every group of people that are trying to achieve something. There's always a group there's always sections of that group that are going to be more extreme.
Fundamentalists. But actually, then if you've got a fraction within your group that are fundamentalists, is it not up to you then to go, actually, there's no place for you here?
I agree. Yeah, that I will agree with.
And I just think... I might not have children. You don't particularly want to have children.
Nope.
Why should then we be even more penalised? Because we're not going to be, kind of having more like offspring to add to the carbon emission. Indeed. So, and then you're actually saying, so I would say we've already made that that's our sacrifice to the universe, to global warming, by not having procreating. So and then on top of that, you're saying you can't leave your house because everyone needs to be on a bike. It's like, actually, disabled people already battle on a daily basis. So for you to turn around and go, you need to sacrifice even more because of the plight of the universe, when most of them people have still got mobile phones or televisions in their home or washing machines or tumble dryers. Why aren't you working with the disabled community to come up with better solutions instead of going, we don't care about you, stay at home because our lungs are more important or our children's futures are more important? Because actually, I don't really care about I genuinely, at the moment, the way they've been to me, particularly, and to all the people within the community, I don't actually care. I might be dead tomorrow. Why do I care? I'm not going to have kids. Well, I'm going to... And also, you want me to stay in my house?
I think that
that was a ramble, wasn't it?
It was. No, but it's a valid one, and it's how you're feeling. And I think there is definitely a gap within the Stop Climate Change movement, whether it's Extinction Rebellion or just the general public, where there is a massive gap in terms of disabled people's input.
Yeah, completely.
And I mean, outside of Extinction Rebellion, it's a case of we've talked about it before, I'm sure we have on other episodes, the single-use plastic straw debacle. And that's a prime example of, I understand people want to do good and want to save the planet, but it's a case of there are worse polluters than plastic straws, massively.
Of course.
Namely big business and so on and so forth.
Well, in the news today, it was about Lego, how much plastic Lego produces on a daily basis.
Yes, they produce a huge amount of plastic. But to Lego's credit, I believe they're also looking at environmental alternatives.
They are.
So, sorry,
Lego.
I'm not going to rip Lego to pieces. And as somebody that owns some Lego,
That's hilarious.
What, that I own Lego?
No. I've still got Lego up in the loft somewhere,
okay.
I tell you.
But no, it's true. There's bigger businesses that have a larger carbon footprint than the individual, that probably need to look at what they're doing before anything else. But it is a case of, I definitely think there needs to be some stronger disabled voices listened to within the environmentalist movement of going, we fully support you, because I don't think anybody, unless they are completely self-indulged, doesn't want to save the planet.
Well, I don't know. Right now, I'm a little bit like, nah. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Please don't attack me on social media for saying that. No, I'm not, and I completely agree with you. Like, I am. Do you know what the irony is? So I'm obviously half German, and in Germany, we are kind of the pioneers of things like recycling. I've been brought up with that ingrained in me. More so than any of my kind of fellow Brits.
Yes.
That because in Germany we what's it called? Renewable energy is massive. like massive. You know, we've got things like Pfandgeld, so you have a lot of glass containers instead of plastic, and you take them back and you get money for it. This has been happening since like the 50s in Germany, so I find it kind of a little bit annoying when someone attacks me personally going, you really don't care about it. It's like, hang on a minute, I've probably got less carbon footprint than a lot of you, well, because I got brought up, that was one of the first things that we learn as a child with a German background. And if anyone from Germany is listening, which I know that happened once, you will completely know what I'm talking about. But yeah, do you know what? It's just frustrating because, you know, I like many disabled people, we fight on a daily basis for our independence. And the one thing that we fear the most is, you know, losing our health and losing our independence, which is obviously intertwined.
Yes.
And when you get a group of people basically saying that your needs are lesser than everyone else's, it annoys me, because aren't we in this together? Aren't we in this together? Aren't we sharing the same planet? Yes, we are. So I think echoing what you just said completely, we need to, I mean, I would love to go and work with them and be like, right, you know, how can we, you know, include, because what you're doing is you are turning people against you. And I am on the cusp. I'm not going to lie.
And that's fair enough. I mean, you know, protests are always problematic. It's the nature. Of course
they are. And that's the whole point of a protest, and we are talking about it. Yeah. You know, we've devoted the past how many minutes to talking about them, and that's probably what they want. You know, what's that expression? All news is good news.
All publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's the one. I don't know. I mean.
There definitely is such a thing as bad publicity.
I've not done my sex tape yet, so...
hey! So people will be trawling the internet now looking for the Sam Rank sex tape.
While I've brought it up, so completely going back to what we were talking about earlier...
Sex tapes?
The Shore Trust Power. So if you
the Power 100.
If you want to see who is on that list, it's on the website disabilitypower100.com. So that's disabilitypower100.com. Oh, I feel like I'm on one of them. To listen to the message again, please press 1. What has got your goat? That's what's annoyed me this week. Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah.
Dan, what has tickled your pickle?
Oh, well. That is a different question.
Tickle your pickle.
But what has annoyed me this week? Well,
I do fancy a pickle now, actually.
I bet you do.
That's a German trait again.
What has annoyed me this week? Well, there's been numerous things.
Go on.
But I think...
Tell me. Tell Auntie Sammy.
Oh, well, I think one of the things that infuriated me most this week actually came out yesterday. And it was an article in the Times. And the article in the Times, sadly it's behind a paywall, so you can't all go watch it unless you subscribe to the Times.
That's so annoying, isn't it?
It is.
When did newspapers start doing that? It's infuriating.
It is. But I you know, in the modern sort of industry, I kind of get it, because they're not selling papers, so they need to make their money somewhere.
Money talks. Right, sorry, I'm sidetracking.
But basically, I'm gonna pull this up now so I can read
a little article. And while Dan is finding that specific article, because I think it's important that he reads an extract from it, just so you actually grasp what. Because I just read it before we started recording, and I was like, what? Huh? What? And also, if you can hear background noise, funnily enough, the building work is still continuing. And driving me insane. So I do apologise for that on behalf of the quite cute builders that we mentioned.
What is the cuteness rating on the builders at the moment?
I don't know, there's just one that I really, really like. It's kind of like a bit beardy. I don't know. I just keep like watching him in a weird way.
Do you wave at him out of the window?
No. See, the thing is, I don't think, because I've got like tinted windows, so I don't think they can really. I can see them, but they can't see me that clearly.
Oh, so you could be parading around naked in front of this builder.
Hang on. That was fine in the summer months. However, now I keep my internal lights on, which kind of defeats the object of having the tinted.
So it removes the tint.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? So I now feel as though they can quite possibly see me when I'm sat there.
So they can
In the
perv back
nudge.
is essentially what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to get more interesting now that it's getting darker and darker. But hey ho, I just need to be very mindful of, to put clothes on, which might be hard for me. Anyway, Dan, what going back to serious things.
Yeah.
The Times. What did you read in the Times?
The Times. Well, the Times posted an article yesterday, which was the 14th of October, which basically said that I think they may have adapted the article since, which
they have?
Possibly, which basically said the reason there is a shortage in schools funding
Right.
is because there's more pupils with SEN special educational needs in the system, so non-disabled pupils are losing out because they have to bridge the gap to cover the costs of special educational needs students. Now, this infuriated me.
I can understand.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I will happily acknowledge that somebody with special educational needs, whatever they may be, I'm not really a fan of that term, but that is the term that is used, will cost more because they need more support.
Right.
In terms of man hours, they might need a learning support assistant. I think that's still their official titles. I don't know, these change all the time. So they may need more manpower or whatever. So there is an extra cost. I appreciate that. However, to blame that for the shortfalls in funding for non-disabled pupils is outrageous. And I'm being very calm and calculated about this right now. Because I could swear. I did swear on Twitter. So please forgive me if you read that.
Did you swear on Twitter?
I did.
And you didn't even put like a little star instead of... Did you write the whole swear word out?
I did.
Goodness me, who have you become?
I know. Because to blame the shortfall in funding on the fact that there's more deaf and disabled students in mainstream education, it's not their fault. They are as entitled to education as any non-disabled student. What should be blamed is governmental policy on the funding of education.
Yeah.
Not
as a whole.
Yeah. Not the fact that, it's, the disabled students are stealing all the money, that's why your kids aren't getting the education they deserve.
I think this is the danger, isn't it? When you have an inclusive school, which I am all for inclusivity, you get parents, and I kind of get it, playing off one another, because you get a classroom, and I'm speaking from experience as a teacher and also as an SEN teacher, whereby you have a child that is included in the school, and maybe it's not the best place for her or him in certain situations because they don't have the support that they need, and actually some of the other children get distracted, and maybe their own education suffers. But that isn't the fault of the children. But what happens is that's what gets portrayed, and that's when parents go, I don't want an inclusive classroom, where actually, as you made earlier, if there was enough support staff in there, if classes were differentiated correctly, then everyone could actually benefit and work really well, and no one would suffer in the classroom.
No. And it's about all-round educational funding. And I think what upsets me more than usual about this is I had just watched, and I recommend anybody watch it if you can, if it's available in your area, a tremendous documentary, a very challenging documentary on eugenics, fronted by your friend and mine, the lovely Adam Pearson.
Yes.
As well as a lady whose name escapes me, which is really terrible, but she is amazing.
Yes. I'm so bad with names. I do apologise.
So am I, so I apologise. She is amazing. And the documentary is amazing. It's available on BBC iPlayer. It's a two-parter, 2 hours in total. Really challenging. And it looks as eugenics as a science, as it was sort of talked about when it was first thought of, and how it's affected society and how it's still embedded in society today. And I think what infuriated me more than anything is in that documentary, they show examples of Nazi propaganda that literally shows disabled people cost non-disabled people so much more in tax money.
The images. You know what? I did a genocide course at university, and I looked at the. So it was Joseph Goebbels, who was the head of the propaganda for the Nazi Party, and it was like how much disabled people cost the non-disabled, and I mean the parallels now are just frightening, aren't they?
Exactly, and this is what infuriates me, because you have a debate about schools funding and you say, well, it's the disabled people's fault. They're costing you more money and your kids aren't getting the education they deserve because of it. This is echoing Nazi propaganda, which is scary. Scary because, the majority of people read a headline. I seriously think, having looked at the article on my phone, the headline may have changed on this article since I read it yesterday, but I can't confirm or deny that because I haven't got a screenshot to prove it. I should have. That's really scary, in the fact that the Times is not a small publication, the Times is not a niche publication, and to put that kind of theory out there just shows how deeply something like eugenics and these ideas are spreading again, which is, as a disabled person, is scary.
I think the current climate where everyone, disability hate crime is on the increase, and you and I will both know that trolling is just out of control. I mean, no matter who you are, but particularly when you have a disability. And I think the thing is, I think these negative attitudes have always been there. It's not a new phenomenon.
No.
People have, and I've said this time and time again when I've done interviews. Disabled people were kind of left alone. We were pitied, we were felt sorry for, but we weren't a threat. We weren't a threat. Like, we were in the corner, we stayed at home, we lived at parents, we didn't go out to work, we didn't socialise, and people were fine with that. Now we're like hell to the no. We go out, we get drunk, we're on your televisions, we're doing this, we're like cockroaches, we're everywhere.
I don't know if I'd like to be associated with a cockroach.
I don't know, well, we never die, we're hardy, aren't we?
Yeah. We'll survive the nuclear holocaust.
We will. But now we've got a voice, that's when it's like, hang on a minute, you want that and you want a new wheelchair? I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I say again, time and time again, what we ask for, it's not, we don't want a shiny unicorn, we want equal rights. Indeed. We want equal rights. Just like the gay community fought for equal rights, just like the trans community, just like the black community, we're not asking for anything out of the ordinary. No. We're asking to live an autonomous life and support ourselves. So, going back to like the Extinction Rebellion and all the pedestrianisation and all the cycle lanes, being put in, if you stop us from going out, then we're not working. And do you know what that means? Then we're on benefits. Yeah. And then we will cost the state.
Yes.
So people need to look at the bigger picture.
And talking of, people's attitudes and us sat in the corner, this is the other thing that infuriated me this week, is the fact that it's now apparently been removed, but I read an article in the Daily Mirror. This makes it sound...
I love how they remove things. I mean... just man up and sorry, I shouldn't use that word. Yeah. But if you're going to publish something, stick to it and get the criticism that you deserve.
But the Job Centre Plus, a local Job Centre Plus, I can't remember which one because I'm skimming the article right now, but they released a guide for applying as a claimant for benefits when describing your condition. It says, avoid words that sound worse than they are.
Right.
E.g., chronic, degenerating, etc.
You're not allowed to use these words.
Apparently not. You may find it helpful to use official diagnosis terms.
Well, hang on a minute. Back up a minute. This isn't what the employers are told. This is what someone like myself...
Yeah, this is for a claimant.
Wow.
Right? You may find it helpful to use official diagnosis terms, e.g. multiple sclerosis, PTSD. Equally, you may wish to avoid terms such as depression, ME, or lower back pain, etc., and use more general terms such as low mood or mental health condition, a fatigue-related condition, an ongoing pain condition, etc. Try to use language that most people would understand or relate to.
Understand or relate to? That's not our job, though.
No, and I can't help but feel there has probably been, much like the environmental movement that we've spoken about, no disabled people's input into this document.
Oh, of course not.
And it sounds to me, if I've got my cynical head on, that the non-disabled people that deal with the disabled people in the local job centre every day go, oh, that sounds really harsh, and we can't stop them claiming benefits if they sound really bad. Now, that's me being very cynical, and there is no evidence to that.
You're probably right, though.
And, you know, it is just a statement. Please don't come and arrest me. But it does feel like, well, if they use less horrible language, then they're obviously not as disabled as they should be, and we can take their benefits away. If I'm being really cynical and...
Oh, that's probably what it is, though. I mean, come on, you're not being cynical at all. Do you know what? It's all going back to disabled people cost so much money to uphold. You know, everything it just goes back to money. But it's the same. I mean, going back to the eugenics program.
Yeah.
The last episode was talking about how lower classes get penalised. So, like with child tax credits. Basically, you know, what they say is after 2 children, you don't get paid tax credits. So poor people can't have more than 2 children.
Oh, no.
That's the same thing, but it's the same for the disabled community.
Yeah, massively.
You know, you can't use horrendous words, you know, that make you sound really, really, kind of in need of help so that we don't need to give you money. It's exactly the same.
It does seem like that. Now... I have to say that document has now been removed from the Department of Work and Pensions, and rightfully so. And it was only because disability activists turned around and went, this is shit.
Okay, non-cynical. You've done your cynical spiel.
Yes.
As a non-cynic, what do you think that was about?
I think it may have been well placed in the fact that, you know, they're like, be positive. And look at what you can achieve. Use the right language. Don't use depression. Just say you've got a low mood. But if you are depressed, how can you turn around in one sentence and say use clinical language, like name your condition like PTSD, but then at the same time don't use the word depression?
Well, do you know what? And it's really funny because when I did, a very basic counselling course, and we looked at mirroring and paraphrasing, and particularly when you are dealing with people that have depression, have anxiety, you can't deviate from those words. So if you said to me, I'm depressed, I couldn't turn around to you and go, so you feel sad, or I couldn't equally turn around to you and go, so you feel suicidal. You have to stay to what's true to that individual.
Yeah. And I just find it really interesting. And I feel that, like this podcast has possibly been a bit ranty. I feel like...
Oh, no, I like it.
Yeah.
I think we should, be more like this.
What do you think, Life Downloaded listeners?
I know.
Should we rant more?
Do we rant a bit more?
Should we rant more? Because, we like making you laugh as well. We like entertaining you. We don't want you to listen to the podcast and be like, oh,
no,
my
exactly.
God. But, occasionally we need a rant. And there's been lots of stuff in the press this week.
And also, we have had 2 weeks off, so I think we've just had this, building up.
Exactly. It's the release.
Brewing.
Like 2 weeks, Boom. So we've kind of exploded in your ears.
Oh, that's not a good visual at all.
No, probably not.
And do you know what? I've got like a sweater on, but surprisingly, I'm really warm. Are you really warm?
I am quite toasty, but then I'm naturally quite toasty.
Oh.
I am, as many ladies have said to me in the past, the human hot water bottle.
Lovely. That's a nice image. But yes, should we cease to rant and
cease to rant?
Cease to rant, because again, surprisingly, I'm hungry and I need a wee.
As all good podcasts end. So Sam's hungry, she needs a wee. But also, guys, remember, I think you can still watch us on Jeremy Vine on demand.
I think so. Maybe we can put a link on the social media.
Yeah, we'll put a link on social media if you haven't seen us on Jeremy Vine. Also, remember, check out the Disability Power 100.
Yes.
There's some epic people in there, including the lovely Sam, and I get mentioned by name. Go me.
Hey!
But yeah, there's some epic people in there. So check them out. Follow those people on social media, because they also give you all their social media links. They're amazing people. Check them out. And yeah.
Yes, how exciting. So the next episode will be episode 10.
Episode 10.
And we will have reached double figures.
Double
how exciting.
Figures.
Hurrah. So
Hey.
I'm going to sign off because I really do need the toilet.
Okay.
I have been Samantha Rang.
I have been Dan Edge. This is episode 9, which we don't have a name for.
What should we do?
Episode
9.
Episode 9.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what? You have eaten all the Jaffas. Jaff Off.
Jaff
Because
Off.
it's been quite an aggressive, just Jaff Off.
Just Jaff Off.
I like
Episode 9, just Jaff Off.
Just Jaff
Dan
Off.
eats a bunch of Jaffa Cakes.
and
we rant about the world.
Amazing. Okie dokie. Ta-ra.
See you later, lovely people. We've enjoyed being in your ears once again. And don't forget to join us for episode 10. Take care, everybody.